All right, welcome back to another episode of Project Geospatial. This is the St. Louis Geo Spotlight, and back with us is Courtney Mueller, and Courtney is going to give us yet another update. This is April's update for what's going on in St. Louis, the geo scene. Courtney, what's been going on over there this month?
Thanks, Adam. Well, we are kind of gearing up for what I would call internship season here in St. Louis. So there's a lot of activity around partnerships with local high schools and colleges for those who are interested in pursuing careers in geospatial with the local St. Louis geospatial companies. So a couple of them that we're kind of paying attention to, Leidos actually has an internship partnership with the local St. Louis Public Schools and the Parkway School District, which is out in West St. Louis County. They're looking to involve approximately 50 students in internships and chat opportunities for students to learn more about geospatial technologies and intelligence and kind of learn more about what Leidos does, and hopefully create some formal opportunities for internships and shadowing going across as they get into college and further along in their careers. So excited to see that. That was something that was discussed in a previous update, and really love to see that Leidos is expanding the project beyond St. Louis Public Schools into St. Louis County and just getting more kids excited about what's going on in geospatial.
Awesome. But that can't be all, right? You got a lot going on over there.
Yeah, so we also we have the Gateway GIS summer program. So for high school students who are interested in very closely shadowing and learning about GIS technologies, GEOINT technologies, who are wanting more kind of like a traditional type of internship program, that is going on through Gateway GIS. That was also something that Leidos is involved in, but also other companies within St. Louis. We also have Maxar is also involved in working with local colleges. They just recently completed a really neat project with Harris-Stowe State University, which is our local historically Black university, with about 12 of their students who mapped 600 buildings in North St. Louis, which is an area that is historically disinvested, and add them to the open, I believe it's the Open Map. It's like an open source project to kind of map buildings and different artifacts around the world. And that was done with the help of Maxar professionals with local students here to kind of get them familiar with the technology, to learn more about what the applications are. And so they did this during a mapathon. So we see that there's a lot of opportunities for local companies to interface with students. And we're seeing very much a focus on trying to to really work on a diverse workforce here in St. Louis. So very intentional about reaching out to school districts and colleges to really get diverse talent involved in geospatial. So those who have typically not had like a typical pipeline into the geospatial community, like you see with, maybe with military or veterans, but really going directly to schools and colleges and trying to get more people of color and women involved in geospatial technology and companies. So
That's
excited.
awesome.
Yeah, and in addition to that, we have a couple of cool grant programs coming up right now. So the T-Rex has a GeoSeed grant program that is currently open through May 15th, and they're giving awards between 15 and 20K to startups and other companies that have programs related to precision agricultural and ag tech within geospatial. So if you want to find out more about that, you can go to downtownTrex.org and find out more about that grant program. There are, like I said, there's multiple awards of 15 to 20K for those who have a particular software application that related to ag tech.
So is there a limited? Do you have to have a presence within St. Louis to?
You do have to have a presence within St. Louis. That is correct. But that can include satellite locations or other type of partnerships with St. Louis companies. So for any of you who are involved in ag tech or precision agriculture, just check it out. It's an opportunity to kind of maybe expand your portfolio.
Awesome. Well, what else do we have in the books?
NGA announced the Nga Accelerator this month, and so for any of you, the NGA created a startup accelerator this year that is based out of NGA West, where they're putting in $100,000 in seed money into startups who are willing to have a presence here in St. Louis and work directly with NGA and other business development opportunities and programs here in St. Louis in order to really work directly with mission-specific programs and have access to NGA, but also kind of build up that entrepreneurship and technology. And so there was over 350 applications for this first cohort of 8. And so they just announced those 8 within the last few weeks. And so seeing a really neat kind of cross section of different startups. 6 of the 8 are software related. About 4 of them are some kind of traditional GEOINT type of applications. There's one that's a low Earth satellite orbit type of company, and one that uses smart balloons. So we're seeing kind of a cross balance between the applications of imagery and creating, and sort of harnessing the imagery. So really excited to see how NGA interfaces with these companies and how that they kind of get them involved, and hoping that this is kind of a good model for how NGA is planning on using some of the declassified space and emphasis here at NGA West as they build a new campus, but also just, in general, trying to, increase innovation, entrepreneurship, and just having greater access to the mission here in St. Louis.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to go check out that list there. As they and maybe we'll review it on a late night Geo, or perhaps bring some of those companies on for some interviews. So with that said, is there some type of cadence for this NGA incubator that our startup seed fund?
Well, I mean, they're from all across the country. So is this going to be reoccurring, I guess I should say? I believe that is going to be reoccurring. I do not know if it's going to be annually or if they're going to do it more often. We also know that Arch Grants, which is a similar kind of startup accelerator here in St. Louis, also has been focusing on geospatial startups. They usually announce their cohort in August. So same kind of deal that you get about $100K in seed money. You locate here in St. Louis. You get access to mentorship, business development programs, access to other type of like industry and business connections. So it'll be really great to see once all these cohorts and companies are really filling in here at Geosaurus, at T-Rex in St. Louis, with COVID kind of coming through and more companies going back to meeting in the office and having physical presence. I think it's going to be a really kind of exciting place to be, having all these young and up and coming companies all within one space in downtown St. Louis.
Is there still plenty of room for people if they want to?
I think they've started expanding, because they've actually there's been quite the demand, especially since Moonshot Labs should be opening. I assume pretty soon, actually. So maybe in next month's update we'll have an idea about that.
Awesome. And is that it for this month's updates?
The other one is we do have a final Geo Innovation speaker series that's on May 5th. So you can go to downtownTrex.org and go to events, and it is featuring Will Cadell, the CEO of Spark Geo, and is moderated by Tony Sardella, the founder of Evolve 24. And they're just talking about how commercial industries can access and incorporate geospatial data and analytics into their work. So this is a good one for those who, we're reaching out to industries outside of geospatial to learn more about geospatial technologies and how to kind of interface with that. But that's a big part of what growing the industry here in St. Louis is really kind of connecting these different industries together to make sure they're talking and realize what ways in which that companies that exist right now can benefit from maybe working with contractors who are in the geospatial technology.
Absolutely. We can be a bit of a bubble in the geospatial industry, and reaching out beyond certain sectors, even the defense sector or even others, can be a challenge sometimes. So bridging that gap can be a huge benefit to everybody. Now, with that said, we did have a chance to interview somebody from your local area a couple weeks ago, and we're going to tag that along with this St. Louis update for this month. Do you want to talk about and give a formal introduction before we showcase that video?
Yeah. So Nicole Mathern, who is a program manager, community programs manager at Leidos in St. Louis, has really launched an amazing program working to build up a diverse workforce, but really it's just diverse interest within the community around geospatial. So she works with local elementary schools, high schools, and colleges in the region to really get people excited about geospatial. They really work with the Leidos employees. They go into the local community. They purchase smart boards. They give the kids like take-home packages of things they can use in order to access geospatial technology. They do job shadowing. It's really a holistic and wonderful program, and very excited to to be able to feature her on Project Geospatial.
Awesome. And everybody stay tuned after this update, and you'll get to see that interview with her and the awesome projects that Courtney just highlighted in more detail. So with that said, Courtney, thanks for this month's St. Louis Geo Spotlight update, and can't wait to see what's going on next month. And
absolutely.
Yeah, we'll talk to everybody next time. Hi, welcome to Project Geospatial. I'm Adam Simmons, and with me for this segment is Nicole Mathern. She is the Community Partner Manager of Leidos in St. Louis. Nicole, tell us more about yourself and the awesome projects you're working with in St. Louis, and tell us what a Community Partnership Manager does.
Hi, Adam and audience. So yes, I go by Nikki Mathern, and I manage interactions within the local community. Now, this looks like partnerships with 501c3s, local universities, and other entities, as well as leading community engagements.
Awesome. Well, let's just dive into a couple of those things right there. So you're working in St. Louis. What does working with the community mean? How does it relate to your work at Leidos or even the geospatial community at large?
Oh, that is a loaded question. So as the community partnership manager, one of the first things I did for our St. Louis community that I look to do for all of our communities is I developed a K-to-Career program. Now, this is a collective STEM GEOINT curriculum enhancement. It has a short range goal of building capacities in schools that are often in under-resourced communities. It comes with a plan of commitment, consistency, engagement, and with a mid-range goal to increase diversity and equity in STEM GEOINT graduates, right? And help them into our workforce. And our long-range goal is to do our part in solving our STEM national crisis, because we are one. And it falls right along with our overarching Leidos mission, which is to make the world a safer, healthier place through efficient information technology, engineering, and science, right? Which is STEM. And again, falls right along also with our corporate vision, which is to engage, develop, and empower our diverse and valued people to foster a culture of creativity and growth. We want to strengthen our communities through volunteerism, sustainable operations, and the advancement of equality. So,
excellent. Well, thank you for that deeper explanation. Talk to me more about the internships. How broad is the internships? Where do you work with the project specifically with what you do?
Okay, so with our internships, right? So one of the first things I did, we always offer internships, but before, you had to be enrolled in a 4-year degree program at a university. Here in St. Louis, especially with GEOINT, we allowed for paid internships at the rising high school senior grade, where they can enter into a paid internship with enrollment in a 2-year degree program. And that allows us to pipeline students for our St. Louis Geospatial Hub, which is really what we are, a geospatial community, right into our workforce. But we're not limited there. We also have shadow students that we work with at the high school level, where they come in and they do everything essential like an intern would to develop and gain those skill sets that they can add on their resumes later. But those are more unpaid until we find another way to partner with some other entities like STL Jobs or maybe even Gateway Global for even those positions to loop around in partnership and be paid. So, our intern program is vast and it is expanding, and it's not limited, honestly, only to geospatial. Because St. Louis is also a huge bioscience agricultural hub. And another thing that I'm looking to do is find those intersections with GIS. And I keep saying GIS like our community would know, our audience would know what that means, is Geographical Information Systems.
Well, this is definitely the show for that. I can tell you that much.
Oh, okay.
But geospatial. This is so for those who you are listening and would love to hear more about Nicole's internship programs in GIS. Once again, Geographic Information Systems usually applies to all the programs you would use to define or analyze the data related to anything with a location attached to it. So it's a very broad field. There's a lot to do. And what's awesome about internships, like what I'm sure you're working with, Nicole, is it introduces young people or introduces people to how much you can get done right there. It's not just about geography. I remember at one point when I was a kid, I was like, oh, what can I do with geography when I was a kid? Is be a teacher at the end of the day? What can you do with this? Be a history teacher? What's the job? Once all of a sudden I was introduced to the world of industry and figured out what the wide swath of opportunities were, it was incredible. I'm like, okay, well, the world has all of a sudden opened up to me with more possibilities than I can even imagine, but it was incredible. So can you tell us more about the life of an intern, what opportunities you've given them and some of the benefits that Leidos offers them from if they complete that whole process?
Right. So with our K to Career program, the latter end with those high school and university students, there are opportunities for networking into our ERGs and introductions into those. We want to promote diversity and provide those networks for them to plug into and just learn more about an organization. And then there's also the professional development side of it. We are mentors to these young professionals. And as far as opportunities, we actually hire probably more than 95% of our interns. So, it really is an entryway into a complete career path. And we're interested in creating Leidos Lifers, so we want them to stay with us. We want them to help us with new ideas and just being innovative and agile.
Well, that's an incredible opportunity and turnover towards employment. That's an excellent path, especially building up those skills very, very, very quickly. So how young can you start as an intern with what you have going?
Honestly, okay, so yes, the term intern, I would say their senior year because those are paid positions. But we do have shadow students, and I do have a program that involves engagement all the way from kindergarten because, we want to introduce these children as early as possible to our environment and to the connections that engagement creates when they come and they to our office and they see what we do and we explain it to them in words and terms that they can understand. Like I filtered an entire elementary school through our South Grand location and we made maps, that's a part of GIS and what we do. And they didn't understand the correlation until afterwards. But it's a whole part of the demystification process that I work on through the entire program.
Awesome. What kind of skills are you working with the senior level interns to, what kind of applications are you introducing them to get them hooked on the GIS or the industry as a whole?
Okay, so they work on our GIS projects in collaboration with some of our PMs if they are actual pay interns. If they are not, like we have a partnership with Gateway Global, which again is the only entity that can actually give them a credential through USGIF at the high school level. And they can do that freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. So, and then we also have a program where after they finish that Gateway Global course, we're working on further educating them like we would a regular employee that just starts on the job in that training program. So we kind of marry those training programs so they can have a complete pathway. And honestly, they come out of that program able to perform sometimes better than students who only have the degree. And which is extremely valuable because they can come out with a credential and also maybe build other credentials on top of that, just like the other IT fields, and start an entry level position.
Are there versions of this internship program that apply to more than just students? Other folks who want to either cross train or adults, for that matter, who want to get involved with IDOS?
Absolutely. See, that's why I call the program K to Career, because we want to provide opportunities to upskill and reskill. We have employees that say, hey, I have a GIS degree, but I've been working on this project and I kind of want to refresh. Can I jump over here into this GIS course? And obviously, we want to make that available to them as well. But, we do have a focus on working on our vast talent pools in our under-resourced communities, but we don't want to be limited. So we are looking at that.
Awesome. Well, how broad and how much growth have you seen with your program? I'll say over the last since you started this whole initiative.
Oh, well, okay. So back in 2017, I would say that we started with an elementary school. And it's grown from just sponsorship of that one elementary school here in the St. Louis region, because we do have other schools that we partner with across the nation, as we are a global organization. But in St. Louis, it started off as one elementary school and it's expanded to three, with resources and capacity, and seeing the measured changes, I felt like we could actually take on more. So, I have a school in North City, St. Louis. I have a school somewhere in the middle and a school in the southern city of St. Louis. And those feed up, and some of them into the same high schools, but they can kind of choose their high schools. And some of the same middle schools with the southern and the middle school. So that broad spectrum. And my overarching goal is to run through our program, work out the kinks, it's unlimited. The idea is to have a place where you don't have to start from ground zero all the time. You have a curriculum and a place to start, to give that consistency and that commitment to your partners that you're working with in the schools, because they're tired of, people just coming in and doing these one-stop shop projects. They want that consistency. So I built the program on our presence, projects, and our parents. That's the core of the program. Did I answer your question, or did I just ramble?
No. I think it does. It's about the growth of your program, right? So you mentioned you started off with elementary schools, and now you're reaching into where these kids move on to either middle school or high school beyond that. And St. Louis is a big area, and the geospatial industry is about to explode with the emergence of NGA West out there as well. So I'm sure you're anticipating a significant new level of growth here in the next couple of years too. Do you already have plans to address some of that?
Yes, I do. I want to take our program that is, structured and successful with measured results, and I actually want to share it so we can start duplicating it regionally, as a leader in, just the science, technology, engineering field that our corporation is. I feel like it's important and pertinent for us to take that lead to get this program off the ground and running and duplicate it, not only just across our organizations and nationally, but maybe even, partnering with other entities to possibly, duplicate it. But, we'll just lead the way, because we can't take on everyone, even though I like to. But, we have to have the opportunity to partner if we really want to have a national solution to a STEM crisis.
Absolutely. So that makes a lot of sense. And so you mentioned a couple entities such as, I believe, Spectrum and a few other STEM programs. You mentioned Gateway Global as helping provide certification for some of these interns. Are there any other bigger entities that you're working with, the educational programs, or getting people more, we'll call it, these kind of stamps on their resume and saying, hey, I got these skills, and make them more valuable in the workforce?
Yeah, absolutely. So honestly, we're partnering with a lot of entities, and not just our 501c3 startup, which is what Gateway Global is, but I mean, we partner with all of our partners. I'm looking at finding some sort of collaboration with Amazon Web Services, or hey, is there a possible partnership with UPS? And then we're also looking to partner with our forward-leaning companies like Accenture to bring commercial best practices and innovations to do something of the intelligence community mission imperative, right now. Anyone that we work with, I feel like we can work with our kids as well. Is something that we all have in common, and as well as this, ongoing STEM crisis.
Excellent. So how many people do you have working with you in the Leidos staff getting these initiatives up and continuing and maintaining them and working regionally?
I would say that I work with my entire organizational entity, because I'm pulling from all of the departments for assistance and finding out also, like, what are you doing over there in Virginia? And how can we duplicate it and add it into this program? I have the program, now I am plugging in partners, right? And that's internal and external. We have programs out east that delves into data analytics, and we have other sponsorships out east that we're looking to, bring out here into the Midwest, like, those STEM boards and the STEM boxes and things of that nature that, help us to develop, like, STEM kits for GIS, specialized things. And then I'm also reaching all the way out to a part of our organization internally out in Houston, where we're looking to develop sustainable foods for space. The program is unlimited, and I have the full reach and capacity of partnership and collaboration within our organization. So I would say everyone. I'm even working across all of the groups within our organization for our intern opportunities. GIS and IT field is vast. It's just like it might be an entryway here, but maybe they want to go into cybersecurity over here or that. It's an entryway, and it's an opportunity. And we're definitely not limited. And I think that's one of the things COVID has taught us with this recent national issue, or, that we're no longer limited by geography. And that'll hopefully help bring more jobs to St. Louis as well.
Oh, yes. And speaking about limits, do you have how full up is your intern program? Is it difficult to get into it? Is there some type of limited capacities? Like, oh wow, we didn't engage this much interest, but we have 30 kids in here now. Like, how do we is there a limit to it right now, or you'll find a way to get them all in that makes sense?
Okay, so what I'm looking to do, again, I had mentioned before, is work across our organization.
Yeah.
I'm looking for opportunities where other groups, can take on interns. For example, we have a civil and we have a health group that GIS often, crosses over with. And we also have defense in our civil group. Which, GIS is relevant to everything. So if they have an intern position available over there that's 100% virtual, we can obviously pipeline our interns in that capacity to one of our facilities here. So, I'm really leveraging the entire organizational capacity to house our interns. But if they can't, I'm not beyond, looking at our other partners, to staff them as well and offer those opportunities. And that helps our partners, right? So they're also excited about our partnership with, like, Gateway Global and any other interns that we might take on, because we also have strong partnerships with our local universities.
Okay. No, and so my next question is, with all this amazing intern program that you've come up with, do you have any good best practice stories, any good stories that come out of this you'd like to share?
Best practice stories?
Just kind of like this, oh man, this was a
yes.
really awesome situation, or one thing I like hearing about these is sometimes you get these folks, these kids or these folks, they go through programs like this, and you end up inspiring to a level that you didn't quite expect. And, and those are things I like hearing as well. Those kind of feel good moments.
Okay. So I would say the thing that feels good most about the Cater Career program that, I manage, which the interns and all that stuff kind of falls in alignment with. The best thing I like about it is we leverage our high school and university students to reach back to the elementary and middle school and volunteer opportunities. So for instance, I have one of my current shadow high school students helping me develop science projects that one of our under-resourced elementary school principals asked us to do for fourth and fifth graders. So he's helping me with these presentations. And if you come from this community, now you're giving back, you're empowering them to reach themselves, to pull themselves up, and then other people as well. So volunteerism and empowerment, I think, are some of the main things that I walk away with feeling real good. And not only are we doing it, but we're teaching our youth to do it.
Okay, great. For companies and partners who are interested in adopting this unique thing that you've done and being able to scale it, what advice can you give them?
Reach out to me and let's find something to work on. I sit around a lot of tables and we talk about doing a lot of great things, but I find the most effective way to do something that matters is to get busy working. So if hey, you got a collaborative project that we can maybe tackle together, I think that builds the relationship that adds strength to the program and is what we ultimately want all around.
And I'm also thinking about either schools or other companies and other locations around the United States who are like, oh, this is a really interesting thing. How can we do something similar in our area?
I would agree. I would say the same thing. Reach out to me or reach out to any Leidos, entity. You might reach out to our corporate responsibility team. They'll probably direct you to me, but we all work together. It's not just like a one-stop shop with me. I really work across the organization as a team with all of our departments. And that includes our diversity and inclusion team, our corporate responsibility team, sometimes our media, sometimes our marketing, all of it. We all kind of work together to help fund a lot of things for our kids in our schools. So I would say reach out to Leidos and you'll probably more than likely run into me regardless. and we can start on a project together, roll up the sleeves and let's get working.
Perfect. Is there anything else before we wrap up that you'd like to mention about anything that you're working on, this specific program or topic, anything at all?
I think we covered our GIS pathway. I would like to say we're not limited, and I am working on bioscience GIS projects with UMSL, University of Missouri St. Louis, and I'm also looking to work on collaborative projects with other entities in Illinois, as well as on the Missouri side with like SLU. And then, we're not limited. So even if it's something I hadn't thought of, definitely reach out to me and we can work something out. I think partnership is the strength that we need to pull ourselves out in this STEM crisis.
And what's the best way to reach out to you for anybody curious and want to know more?
I would say, you can go to leidos.com and, find the comment block and send a message through that avenue, or you can email me directly at Nicole, Nicole.Q.Mathern, Mathern, at leidos.com.
Great. Well, thank you, Nicole, for joining us and talking about this amazing endeavor that you're working on with Leidos. You got a big project ahead and inspiring young folks, not just within the GIS or geospatial industry, but across the board for getting them into the workforce, and that's an incredible endeavor, educationally and inspirationally. So, thank you for joining us on Project Geospatial. I'm Adam Simmons here with Nicole Mathern, and we'll talk to everybody next time.